Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mike's and the Mikes. First day of spring. How you doing, man?
I don't know, man.
It's snowing outside, yeah.
Not so chip cheerio out there today.
I was on the golf course yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah. And
now, that's Michigan.
And now I'm hitting the slopes later this evening. Yeah. It's not a great start to spring, but that's all right. It's been pretty nice.
You know what, though? We should always expect this because this is what Michigan does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can literally have every season in 1 week. Yesterday it was 70, today it's 30.
Yeah. I saw it's like a meme that's going around. It's like Michigan throws out degrees like it's the Powerball. 70, 35, 45. Like they're all over the place. We don't even know.
Oh, yeah, I gotta love it.
But first day of spring, March Madness is happening right now.
Yep.
Yep. Go green, go white. Obviously.
Go blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
So a lot of things going on in the sports world today.
Mm-hmm.
How's your week been?
Week's been pretty good. Yeah, just been working in the yard, playing outside with the kids. Yeah, just been enjoying the weather until old man winter showed up.
Yeah.
It's been a good week.
Yeah, it's gonna be cold for like the next 10 days, so that sucks. So yeah, I probably could have did some yard work, but I skipped and went golfing instead. And there's still early. I got plenty of time to get the yard
That's
work
more
done.
responsible, Mike.
Yeah,
that's way more responsible.
The golf swing it needs to be be good this year.
Is it work in progress or where are we at?
Yeah, it's it was only my second time out, but it's early, right? It's only March.
Did your dad beat you again?
No, my dad did not beat me, but it was close yesterday. It was close. No, he's getting better too. So
yep,
it was good. All right, so let's.
Well, we have a great show.
Lots to talk about today.
We're gonna get into we'll get into our war. This means war results. We're gonna do some Tigers talk. We got a fun list for you. Top 5 center fielders.
Yep.
We'll do a little bit of Lions, NFL chatter, and then get into some March Madness, and then wrap it up with some Stud and Duds.
I like it. I like it a lot. All right, well, let's go. So last week we did the war draft.
Yes, our first ever, and maybe a first. Well, I guess we can't really do that one.
Can't really do annual. Well, we'll do a lot more drafts. We'll find ways to integrate more competitiveness into the show.
Yes, and we do have some results for you.
All right, let's see who won. Who gets taken home the crown?
Well, I mean, if you took away my relief pitcher, my DH, and probably my first baseman, I would have won. But no, Mikey A takes the crown this year with a total of 1,323.1 WAR. So you had a 110.25 average WAR per player against my 1,279.0 or 106.6 average WAR per player. So you took me by, I think, about 44 points. You killed me on, it was the DH and relief pitcher. You killed me there.
Yeah.
So those two positions did it.
And I think when I was doing my draft, I was thinking I got to get the D. I think I got my DH early. I think I got him in like the 5th round.
You had Pujols, who's got like 100 something WAR.
Yeah.
I had Edgar Martinez, who's like 68 or something. Like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you killed me there. And then Mariano Rivera compared to David Robertson. I didn't draft my relief pitcher correctly. So
it was a tough choice. It was hard to find one, but no, I went with the DH because I knew the position players. There was more position players, that I could have picked from than the DH. And when we set that rule of after 1973, that's when I was like, okay, I got to get somebody quick.
Yeah.
Because I can't pick Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio,
right,
Ted Williams, all those guys that weren't around for it.
Right.
So,
and really, we set the rules of like, hey, they had to like, obviously these guys play multiple positions. So like some guys will start off playing a position and then halfway through their career will transition to DH. I took Edgar Martinez, which I think he played pretty much, was he a DH most of his career, if not all of his career?
Yeah.
And like Pujols played first. Right?
He started at third.
Did he?
Yeah.
Was he at
Yeah.
So that helps your guys' WAR.
Exactly. Yeah, when you're just hitting.
Exactly. So, but no, that was a lot of fun, and I think we're gonna do we're gonna have to do that soon if we're gonna do a
next week
season war.
We're gonna do it. We'll have to do it next week. So next week's gonna be fun because next Thursday is the first day of Tiger baseball.
What's the first game, regular season game of any of?
I think it's next Wednesday. It's the Dodgers. Is it the Dodgers and Mets? Okay. I just know they keep showing it. It's just like Ohtani and the Dodgers versus, I can't remember who they're playing.
Okay.
Maybe it's the Cubs. I don't know. It's a National League game. The Dodgers are starting it out with whoever they're playing.
Okay.
They're the first game. I think they're Wednesday night. They're kicking off the season. And then everybody else starts Thursday.
Okay. Who do the Tigers open up with?
Actually, no. We open up with the Dodgers.
That's what I thought. I thought it was the Dodgers. Okay.
I don't know who that first game is. Well, either way. Mm-hmm. Tigers play the Dodgers. We open up in LA
next Thursday.
Okay. And then we're on the road until the following Friday when Detroit has, the best day of the year, our home opener.
Yes.
So 7 days away. I remember I felt like Christmas. It was just last week when I'm like, we're 60 days away from baseball and it's here. It's here. So
now that's exciting. Hopefully they start off solid and get some of these guys back and play well.
I mean, hey, I think they're pretty much playing 500 ball in spring training. I don't really care what the record is in spring training. I really don't. I mean, you got guys coming in and out of the games. Doesn't really matter. I've seen a lot of things that I like, though. I feel like our offense and our bats, for as much as we said we were lacking bats, I feel like these kids are coming around on the bats.
Yes. I mean, I didn't, forgive me, but I did not look at like total at bats, but I know Green, Torque, Colt Keith, and Carpenter are each hitting pretty much 300. Green's at 297, but everybody else is 300 or better. Torque's got 4 bombs this year. He's swinging the ball well. From that standpoint, that's intriguing for me that these guys are all, hitting the ball well and playing well in that regard.
All right, let's talk about Torque because, I mean, everybody was ready to get rid of him last year, right? I mean, he got sent down. Back this year, there was all that talk about him getting traded. He came out, and I mean, I think he needed this fire lit under his ass to show, like, hey, man, you may not be an MLB player, or you're not going to be one with this team.
I think the Tigers definitely sent a message with him and played some reverse psychology on him or something. But I mean, it's still early to see. We need to see this in the regular season and need to see this attitude or whatever continue. But
all we can take right now is what's happening in spring. We were talking before the show
because he's never had a good spring.
No,
I don't recall him ever having a good spring. I know he's not been around long, but he's never had a good spring.
He's always started off so cold, even coming into the regular season.
Yes.
But you're right. We need to see what happens moving forward. And like we were talking about before the show started, like the most at bats, some of these projected starters are only at like 40 at bats, which is
at most probably
minuscule amount of they get 500 to 600 at bats a season. But you got to start somewhere. So we can only go off what has happened. And I think we're trending in the right direction. A lot of concerns have come up in the last week though with this team. Just due to injuries. And God, please don't tell me what happened to the Lions is about to happen to the Tigers because these guys are dropping. I mean, Meadows is out. Veerling is out now.
It's just like now I think I seen on your lineup like McKinstry and Ibanez are pretty much going to be, and then Baez is going to be pretty much
third base. We're Frankensteining our third baseman again.
That's a bit scary. And then you got Torque taking reps in the outfield. You got Keith bouncing around between first and second. Young is sent down to AAA. It's just like nothing is like cemented with this team, and you would hope you would have that after last year's run. Like everybody had a position. And then now you got these guys just shuffling around, and you're like, man, what the hell is this going to do for this team?
So, and that's what's making me concerned is the position swaps. And I mean, coming into spring training and even the first 2-3 weeks in spring training, I'm like, all right, we look good. I still think we'll compete for the division. I just think it's going to be a little bit harder now, right?
Yeah, right.
So we need those guys back. Not that it was a lock for us, but I think the Tigers going in were a favorite. Or a second favorite to win the division.
I think it
was really close. If you go off like what Vegas was saying, everybody was really close based off the odds.
I think in most predictions it was at least second. You know what I mean? So
I just want to. So right now, our opening day roster, right? You're gonna have Rogers and Dingler at catcher. Mostly Rogers taking it. First base, you got Colt Keith. Second base, we have Gleyber Torres. Third base is, you mentioned it, McKinstry and Ibanez. And throw in Baez.
Is McKinstry, Ibanez is a righty. What is McKinstry? Is he a righty or lefty? Do you happen to know?
I'm just curious. No, not offhand. And that's probably why a lot of these guys are going to split the time. Hinch might be going back and forth.
Yep. Okay. Sorry.
Then the shortstop, you got Sweeney and Baez, who Sweeney has not had the best spring training yet.
No, he hasn't.
But it sounds like he's going to be getting majority of the starts.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with. Again, spring training is spring training.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens regular season. And then your outfield is going to be Green, Perez, Carpenter, and Henry Malloy.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody kind of switching out.
Yeah.
They wanted Veerling to be full-time out or at third base, but then now with everything, because I think McKinstry, everything's just kind of throwing everybody around. Torkelson now getting out there. They do have him slated as our DH.
Yep. And he'll probably he'll blossom or platoon with at first base as well. Colt Keith might DH. Carpenter will get in there and DH, or play the, you know what I mean. So these guys are going to shuffle.
And you mentioned it, Colt Keith. They might use them at second. Now Hinch said it may not be a lot this year, but first is not necessarily going to be his new permanent home.
Okay, they want these guys to be versatile. I know that
they want them to be versatile. They know that Hinch said that Torres, whether or not he's with us or not, will eventually become a DH.
Gleyber Torres will,
yeah, but I don't know if he'll be with us that long. And Colt Keith would slide back over to second base.
Okay. So Gleyber Torres is essentially going to be floated around as trade bait at some point if he has a decent year.
But and hopefully we're buying at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
But and then our rotation, that's pretty much set. Skubal, Flaherty, Olsen, Job, and Mize. And you know what? Hats off to Mize for coming through and really earning his spot back after what we all anticipated back in the day that he was going to be the next JV. Nobody saw Skubal coming up like that.
No.
So it's good to see him come back from the injuries.
Yeah, he's looked really good this year. I think he finally gave up his first 2 runs yesterday. I mean, his whip has been under 0.8. Like, that's a really good sign. He's got 14 strikeouts, so he's punching guys out. Like, that's a really good sign.
Hey, these guys are going to get hit, everyone. I mean, Skubal's going to get lit up at one point at a time at the season, right? It just happens.
Yep, for sure.
But I mean, I like the roster. I like what they're doing. I think the biggest heartbreak was Young not being ready to be at our third base position.
Yeah, right? they were, and I guess it came solely on his timing. Like, he was just way off, and you hope he can.
That's what I was reading. Hinch was saying that he doesn't have it.
Yeah,
he's
not there. Yep, and he's still young, and this is. People are getting kind of frustrated with that, but like, he's still young, and this is normal for these guys. You know what I mean? These guys will bounce around a little bit until they get their footing, and then hopefully take off with it. And he seems like he has a good attitude, and he's confident in himself that he'll. I just don't like the fact that he was drafted as a second baseman, and they moved him to third, and he struggled, and he was actually a pretty decent second baseman, and they just keep, where is it going to be his home? Because then you have like McConaughey, Rainer, whatever you say his name is, these kids that were drafted, Rainer is a shortstop. McConaughey looks like he's sliding over to third. Like, is Young eventually going to go back to second? But then where's Colt Keith? Because Colt Keith is right. I guess this
right. Is he going to become first base?
Is he first base to full time? Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I know when these guys come up, just because you get drafted at a certain position, I mean, you're not going to play there.
Yeah,
your whole career. I mean, even majority of MLB players, when they're coming up like through high school and college, almost all of them are shortstops.
Right. Yeah.
Almost every player is
always the best player on their team.
That's where the best player plays, right? So it's not a surprise that these guys get moved around like that, but it's just like, okay, well, what are you doing with especially once they hit the minor leagues? Now you okay? Well, no, you know what? We're gonna try you here. No, we're gonna try you here.
But it just seems like the whole infield is like
they're all completely swap sides.
Yeah, they're all in different positions. I'm not a major league manager. I never will be, and don't claim to be.
No, you don't see it. You don't see it happening. Career change.
I sent a resume out, but I don't think I ever got responded.
From engineer to head manager.
That's like what's his name from Major League?
Yeah,
when he's like, oh, I don't know, I got a guy on hold about some white walls.
I don't know. I think you could do it. I'll be your bench coach.
I don't know, man. I didn't do very well with drafting this war things.
Hey, your team would still win 150 games.
It's true. That's true. Thank you.
Anybody would take.
Except if I play you in the World Series, I'm losing.
Well, yeah, I'm going to win the best of 7 series, clearly. But
right. Yeah.
The other guy I'm excited to see, he's definitely not ready, is Max Clark, though.
Yeah.
He's played 4 or 5 games with the Tigers. I like how they secretly called him up. I was reading about that. Hinch was saying they didn't want all the media attention around him. They were like kind of secretly calling up here or there to come play these games. He had the breakout game.
Yeah.
Which that was cool to watch. I saw a few games, not just the Tigers, other teams. Just seeing all these kids come up, and it's impressive what they're doing.
Yeah, no, I like I like the makeup of these kids. Like I'm like clumping him together with Clark, McConaughey, and I like the makeup of these guys.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They're kind of like that all tool type of player. Like they have to be able to do more than just either hit or whatever. Like they have to have like a certain skill set to play for this team, is what it seems like.
Oh yeah,
and they want young, athletic, can kind of do it all. I really like that. Like there's drafting ball players. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I'm excited for him to get up here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it'll happen this year though.
No, he'll be a double A like he was last year's high A. Him and McConaughey were high A guys.
Is he starting double A? Or is he going to start back over at West Michigan?
I think if I had to guess, I don't know if anything's been set, but if I had to guess, probably back at high A, and I think he'll probably peak out at both those guys will probably peak out at double A this year. But then once you get to double A, like in my opinion, you're knocking on the doorstep. Like some guys even jump triple A to go right.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
So I think once they get to double A, then, it could be any time now. I think both those guys are 20. You know what I mean? So I would think a year or two, you could start to flirt them up in the big league. So
they look so young too.
Max Clark looks really.
They're a baby. Yeah, they're all babies.
Yeah, really young. It's crazy.
But it's good because if things work out, I'm just thinking longevity for this team, right? I think we're showing a lot of promise. I mean, every team in Detroit is right now. It's an exciting time to be.
Well, I don't know how
fan here,
and you brought this up too with their minor league rankings. Like I don't know how much you buy into that stuff, but I mean it's interesting.
Yeah,
and at least it gives some credibility to the way the Tigers have been drafting and trading and stuff. That they have the number 1 farm system in all of baseball.
And I think last year we were 2 or 3.
Yeah, definitely top 10 or top 5.
We've been in the top 10 for the last few years, right? So it's nice to see this.
They've for sure established a solid pitching templates or depth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the organization, so that's good to see. So they obviously know what they're doing. It would be nice to see some position players come up and stay and hit. You know, like if
we need a hitter, we need one of these guys to. I mean, Riley Green, obviously he's our all-star player, but we could get an infielder,
another one,
be our a stud for us. Then that would be. That's what we need, right? And especially a homegrown player. I think that's going to go so much further for our team.
Yeah.
Than just picking somebody up, which I still think there's time to go get another bat.
They might need to.
I mean, we might. I know, and I know this is a long shot, but we're just talking, right? Maybe you start throwing some things at St. Louis for Arenado. I know he said he wasn't, didn't want to come to Detroit, but we could use him, especially with what's going on at third base. If Young is not ready to go and we're going to be bouncing between 3 different guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't want to see. I mean, we had pitching chaos last year. Will we have infield chaos this year? I mean, just everyone just plays wherever they fit in for that game or series.
Right.
It's not a good formula to work with.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna make.
So that makes me nervous. But they are young and versatile and can play multiple positions, so we'll be all right.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's not a slow start with all the guys learning.
Could be lineup chaos. We had pitching
lineup,
chaos. Yeah, we had lineup chaos this year.
I think pitching chaos. I think we kind of got that taken care of. I think it's done. I think we got our 5 solid starters.
God, I can only hope so.
I know. It's not. Who's your pitcher? Scooble.
Yeah.
What about the other 4?
Yeah. Whoever.
I don't know. Yeah.
Pause.
Pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pause. All right.
We're going to move on.
Center field time?
Yes. Get into our top 5 center fielders of all time.
Yeah. So
this was like our favorite.
These are I didn't really go because Well, my thought was, one, I wanted to start doing some of our favorite players.
Yeah.
Because it's also so easy to go on Google, go to Baseball Reference or wherever, top center fielders, write the list and go from there, which is not a bad way to do it. Sometimes it helps jog your memory of some guys. And we're going to do this for every position over the next few weeks. We'll go through each one, give our top 5 favorites for all the positions.
All right.
Right? Because, I mean,
we might as well.
I like doing these lists, right? And I just happen to pick center field for this week.
Let me ask you, like, as far as I know, these are your favorite players, but is there like certain things that you like about guys? Like, is there certain metrics that you like within a ball player? Yeah.
So, I mean, all these guys that I picked are clearly all-stars, right? They're going to be Hall of Famers, but these are, some of them are ones I grew up with. There's some is nostalgia. Yeah. Right. That comes with, but they're all stars. It's not just anybody that's not good. But yeah, I had reasoning behind it. Yep. Some is metrics. Some is just kind of what I grew up with as a kid. Some is they were on our team, right? Things like that. Yeah, so that's kind of where I went. And again, I think if anybody looked at our list, nobody would argue about putting them on their team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how I went. And then obviously some honorable mentions when we get through. But so we'll go. I do have mine in an order, 5 to 1. If you, I don't know.
Yeah, I did
just
that
random or not. So
yeah, I did that too.
Okay. Well, let's.
You want to lead us off?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go. My number 5 center fielder for me is Curtis Granderson.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I basically behind him is just I loved him here in Detroit. Great center fielder. It sucked when we lost him to the Yankees.
Yeah. That stings.
But he was great here. Love Curtis Granderson.
He had that 1 year too where he he had I can't remember but he had like 4 different stats or something like that, like as far as doubles and stolen bases and home runs.
Yeah, he was joining the 2020 clubs.
Yeah,
things like that.
Yeah.
Stole a lot of bases. He was good.
He was just a good like all around player.
And you know what's crazy? When he was with us, he was more of that like dirtbag style player where he was doing everything. He's stealing bases. He's fast. He's out there in the outfield. And when he went to New York, and even the Mets, because he ended his career at the Mets,
he hit 40 home runs.
He became a power hitter.
Yeah.
The year Miggy went for the Triple Crown, him and Granderson was only a couple of home. Miggy hit 44. I think he hit 40.
41 or
41. I mean, we were watching like, oh shit, calm down, Curtis.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know what? It's funny when he got shipped off to New York. Everybody was like, watch him go and hit a ton of home runs now because of that short fence out there. And what did he do?
And that's
exactly.
I mean, coming from Comerica and him going, obviously.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was a tough day to watch him go because he was. I mean, for one, he kind of like helped rejuvenated the baseball in here. Like he was on the 06 team.
Yeah.
And the Tigers sucked before that year. And then when Leland comes in and you got all these guys that come up and he was a homegrown player, right?
Yeah.
We drafted him. And then, it's always good to see that. And he was just one of those fan favorites. He's always a good guy and well-spoken. And he was my favorite Tiger back in the day. Like for that era, he was my favorite Tiger. Yeah.
All right. Who do you got? You're number 5.
Number 5, I got Joe DiMaggio.
Oh, yeah. Jolden Joe.
Most famous for dating or married to Marilyn Monroe. I think we should all just cover that real quick.
Yep. Yeah.
But considered.
Lucky guy.
Yeah. He was considered by some as the best center fielder in Yankees history. I don't know about that. He was in the military in 1943, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah. He had to step away from baseball.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep,
when they all did that. Yep.
And then what was it? I had
well, his most famous stat.
What's that?
The 56 game hitting streak.
Oh, he had. Oh, I missed that.
Yeah,
I had 47. He only had 1 error in 631 chances because he was a good center fielder.
Oh, he's awesome.
And
I love Joe DiMaggio.
He could hit the shit out of the ball too.
He's one of my all-time favorite players. And as much as I hate the Yankees, Joe DiMaggio was great. Yeah, 56 games with a hit.
Wow.
No one. That's a record that nobody will break. It will never happen.
You know what's crazy is that I always thought Ted Williams had the hitting streak for some reason. Why did I think that?
Ted Williams has something. I think he has an unbeatable record as well. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, Joe DiMaggio was the 56.
He holds the record for 56 game hitting streak.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think the closest anyone has ever gotten, and I don't remember the name, was like high 30s, maybe low 40s.
Okay.
And that was a while ago.
Yeah. Now, I was looking to see if he won a Gold Glove award, but the Gold Glove award was not around.
It wasn't even around back then. Yeah,
it came out in '57. Year my dad was born.
Yeah,
and he retired in 51. I think DiMaggio retired.
Yeah, 51. Him and Mickey Mantle played 1 year together, and Mickey Mantle took center field as Joe DiMaggio
passed the torch.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Jeez, it's like the Packers going from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
he just that's crazy. But yeah, he was. Yeah.
All right, my number 4, I have Atlanta Braves, Andrew Jones.
Mm-hmm. I almost put him on my list.
Yeah, he's when I was a kid, I was a huge Braves fan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chipper Jones was one of my favorite players. Andrew Jones, I mean, watching them, I mean, they lost that World Series in '98. But I loved watching Atlanta Braves, and Andrew Jones was just, he was so good out there, right? Could hit for power, was great in the center field. I think I saw he went down as one. I mean, when I was looking some stuff up on him, I didn't realize, because this was more of a nostalgia pick for me.
Yeah.
And I knew he was a good player, but I didn't realize he's in the top 10 center field list. If you go to a couple of the different,
I think
websites.
He's in like top 5 of defensive run saves. Or something.
Yeah,
he's looking. Yeah, he's really.
But yeah, I loved Andrew Jones. He was fun to watch.
Yep. Number 4 on my list, I have a guy who is still playing, Mike Trout. Fun fact, never won a Gold Glove. Yeah, he's a stud. But he's got a career defensive WAR of 20.2, career on-base percentage of 410, 212 stolen bases. I mean, like, and he's still playing. His OPS rate, career OPS is 991.
Damn.
And obviously, he's just when he stays healthy and plays, he's obviously a stud out there in the field.
Yeah, he has had some injuries. Later in his career. I don't blame guys for leaving teams or anything, but it is kind of fun when a guy does stick out their 20-year career with one team.
Yeah.
I do feel really bad for Trout. He's one of my favorite players, right? I think he's a generational player. I think he'll go down as one of the best players in MLB history.
Yeah.
3 playoff games.
That's crazy.
And lost all 3.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He has never won a playoff game. So I'm surprised that he's stayed with the Angels and not tried to go, not necessarily ring chasing, but just, the Angels, and they always put together a good team. They just can't do anything.
Yeah, on paper. They've had freaking Ohtani. They've had Pujols. They've had Trout. You know what I mean? They've had these guys.
Yeah, they just can't get it together.
Nope.
Nope. But yeah, Trout's a stud
for sure.
Number 3 on my list, I have Ken Griffey Jr.
Good choice.
Oh, nice. Okay, so number 3 for you too?
Yeah.
He was a first overall pick in the MLB draft.
Okay.
And he is one of only 3. This is a crazy stat, not just for Ken Griffey, just in baseball altogether. Yeah. There's only been 3 number 1 overall draft picks that have made it to the Hall of Fame.
Wow. And then another one was, didn't you say it's Chipper Jones, right?
No, I don't remember.
You told me.
Yeah, I can't remember who the other 2 were, but I know it. Ken Griffey Jr.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
Wow.
He was, and he got to play with his father.
Yeah, Ken Griffey Sr.
Which is cool. You don't see that too often when father and son get to play. But Ken Griffey, his swing might be the prettiest swing in baseball of all time.
Yes. Oh God. Yeah.
What he did when he was with the Mariners, I know he went to the Reds. He had a great career with the Reds too, but his time with the Mariners was. And he was flashy and good.
Yeah, he was just damn good. He won 10 straight Gold Gloves from 90 to 99.
Damn.
630 home runs, 907 OPS. He was just, what's crazy is like every time you think of him, you always think of the Mariners, but he played, I think, 11 years for the Mariners and then like 9 for, maybe it was a little bit less. I don't know.
With the Reds, right?
Yeah, with the Reds. So he played a long time with the Reds and he had some really good years with the Reds too.
And him and Ichiro crossed over when they were in Seattle together.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Crazy that and there's the famous call, the My Oh My call from the 90, 97, 96 playoffs. Ken Griffey Jr. scores the winning run. That was he was fun to watch. Yeah. That's kind of that was also a nostalgia kind of pick. Obviously his numbers, but we grew up watching him play.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah, he was like that Michael Jordan-esque type of player, you know what I mean? He was just like bigger than life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 3, both of us Ken Griffey.
Yep.
All right. Number 2 for me, we just went through his whole career. Mike Trout.
Yep.
Again, I think he's going to go down as one of the best players. I think, and I love like Miguel Cabrera and all that, right? And, Derek Jeter, they're good. I think in my lifetime, I think Mike Trout is probably the best player in baseball in my lifetime.
Yeah.
I think that
he's elite in just about every category.
Yeah.
Every category that there is.
Obviously he wants Tigers to win a ring, but God, it would be nice to see him get himself a championship.
Oh, for sure. He deserves it.
Just unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Not while he's in LA.
How old is he? 40 or
he's in his 30s. He's in his 30s. Yeah.
Like that 32,
yeah.
33.
He unfortunately is on the downward side of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Still good, but
well, maybe he'll get a chance at age like 35 or 36, something like that, to go play for a winner.
Yeah, maybe he'll come to Detroit and help us win.
We'll take him.
Oh, I'm sorry. And then I woke up from a nap. All right, who you got number 2?
Number 2, I got Mickey Mantle. Yeah. Just we can't deny what he did. 20 All-Star appearances, Gold Glove in 62, 984 fielding percentage. Just like he's Mr. Yankee.
Yeah, he was MVP for a couple times too, I believe.
Was he?
Yeah, Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
He what year was it? Then he had like some knee injuries later on in his career, kind of really derailed him from having more longevity. And I know he got sick and stuff like that, but he was a stud,
absolute stud.
For sure.
We're on number 1. Mickey Mantle. I think, and again, as much as I hate the Yankees, I think Mickey Mantle is probably my favorite baseball player.
Yeah, you've said that before.
Yeah. And obviously you just gave his stats.
Yep.
I wish we would have been able to see him play.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, obviously there's some videos out there, but
Yeah.
Mickey Mantle, just love everything about him. Great outfielder. Eventually moved to first base later in his career.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably because I know he had some knee issues, right?
Yeah. So he couldn't run like he used to.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, Mickey Mantle, one of mine, if not my favorite baseball player.
And I know they were as far as being a center fielder. I know they were really touting he had a really, really strong arm.
Yeah.
And obviously held it down out there too.
Yeah.
So,
all right, who's your number 1?
Number 1 I have is Willie Mays, 7th all time in defensive run saves, 660 home runs, played 22 years.
A long career.
Age 40 season at his when he was 40 years old, he played 136 games. 112 base on balls, and he had a 421 on base percentage, which was the highest of his career.
Jesus.
Yeah. And obviously, Willie Mays is, considered probably one of the best baseball players of all time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I had a hard time not putting him on my list.
Mm-hmm.
He was on my original list, but I went with, again, my favorites. And
yeah.
You can't deny Willie Mays, but yeah, because he was, he has one of the greatest catches of all time.
Yeah. Yes. People try and mimic that catch all the time. Just, you know what I mean? I've tried it in playing softball.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just the way that basket over the head catch.
And then he turns around and flicks the ball, throws it a mile, and then the hat comes off and he spins and yeah. He's baseball. You know what I mean? Like that's baseball.
Exactly.
Yeah. Him, Mickey Mantle, like those type of guys. Like when you think baseball, like those
are the names that are popping up in your head right away.
Yep.
Yeah. I obviously just some honorable mentions. You had Joe DiMaggio. I had him on there, Willie Mays, and Ty Cobb.
Okay.
But, but Ty Cobb was so far back in the day.
Yeah, it's hard.
Obviously you could put him as one of the best center fielders based off his stats, but
yeah,
it was hard for me to put him down just because, you never see him play.
Yeah.
It's back from the 1901
highlights.
Right.
Right. Yeah. There's only like the hearsay or the stats you can go and view. And
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So run through your list for us real quick. Your top 5 center fielders.
All right. Number 5, I had Joe DiMaggio. Number 4, Mike Trout. Number 3, Ken Griffey Jr. Number 2, Mickey Mantle. And number 1, Willie Mays.
It's a great list. I had number 5, Curtis Granderson. Number 4, Andrew Jones. 3, Ken Griffey Jr. 2, Mike Trout. And number 1, Mickey Mantle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good list.
It's a great list. Yep. I look forward to doing the other other positions.
What do you want to do next week? You want to do an infielder next week?
Yeah, let's go infield. What do you want to do?
Let's do third base.
Oh, yeah.
The hot corner.
My favorite position.
There you go.
My favorite position. All right. What do we got next? What do we got? Oh, well,
Want to get into some Lions chatter?
Yeah.
Or some NFL stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not much is going on, but today the Lions proposed 3 new rule changes.
Mm-hmm.
So we can just kind of quickly go through those, and because no new signings have happened or anything.
Yeah.
Nothing's really happening in the
pretty
NFL
quiet right now. Yeah.
Everyone's talking about Aaron Rodgers and all that, and whatever. You can.
Why don't you I wouldn't mind touching on the Aaron Rodgers, but let's go through the rule changes. I like that you brought that up and what that could mean. Some of them are have more impact than others, but why don't you run through those really quick?
Okay, so and we talked about this back when the playoffs were happening, and a lot of people talked about. So one of the rule changes that the Lions proposed today was that whoever has the best record, right, gets the number 1 seed, and they get the bye week. Regardless of division or not, the seeding will go by best record after that. So you could still win your division, but you could. So example, last year, Minnesota, 14-3, right? They were moved to the 5th spot, had an away game where they should have been the number 3 seed.
Okay.
Or I guess I don't know what the tiebreaker was with them in Philly, but they would have been 2 or 3.
They would have been 2. I think, yeah, they would have been 2 last year because the Lions were 15 wins, the Vikings were 14, and then the Eagles were 13.
So they wanted to change to have the playoffs go based off your record, not division winners.
Okay.
Which means if you're a division champion, you should be having a better record than 10-7, right?
Right. It's essentially, it's kind of like what in a way what college does with their playoff now, because it like Ohio State, for instance, they didn't win their conference, but they had a higher seed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah.
So I know you're not a huge fan of this.
No, I'm not.
I like this rule.
I get it, but I'm
not. I get it. I just to me, and my reasoning is, and I'm going to keep using Minnesota just because this happened last year, right? I still don't like Minnesota, but they're the team that got screwed last year. And you have a 14-3 season. You bust your ass all season. You have this great record. So then you just have to go play on the road against a division winner like they did that has a lesser record than you. To me, I don't see that. I think you earn your spot where, yeah, if you win the division, you still get a banner up, right? It's still something. I think it puts a little bit more pressure on these teams to have a better record to win your division.
Yeah.
But you put all that where you have a great season and you're number 5 seed, possibly could be number 6 seed, depending on how it goes. So that's how I see it. It's you earn this spot. You earn the chance to be a 2 or a 3 seed based off your record.
Sure. I'm not a fan of it just because of the fact that, like, okay, so if you, and I get it, like all divisions aren't created equal, but I still feel like you should be rewarded for winning your division regardless. Because if you're, let's say the division is a gauntlet, maybe let's say 3 out of the 4 teams are all really good and they kind of like just kind of battle each other, and maybe the top team is like a 9-8 or maybe not 9-8, like let's say 10-7. Okay?
Yeah.
Like I feel like you should be rewarded for that. Because that means, like, okay, a division winner could technically not get in. Like that could happen.
Well, no, I think they would always get in.
They would always get in.
I think I think a division winner would always get in, but it doesn't guarantee you a home win.
Okay.
So you're still guaranteed in, but there's a chance that you would, because that wouldn't make any sense if all of a sudden you got all these teams with a better record. And you won the division, but you're not in the playoffs. So you would be in the playoffs, but you're not guaranteed a home win or a home game.
All right, because let's take last year, for instance. I think the Bucks, what did the Bucks finish? 10-7? They won their division, but then you had in our division, you had the Packers at 11-6. You had the Vikings at 14-3, and you had the Lions at 15-2.
Like Tampa would have been like a 6 or 7 seed.
But then with all right.
So you would just have to take the 7 teams from last year. And it would just be completely this. So it would be Detroit, Minnesota, Philly, well, probably Green Bay.
But let's say,
I don't know where the Rams finished, but
let's say you had another team in another division not finish 11-6. Like, could they technically be?
So I think the way that it would work is the division winners would automatically get in. as they should. You won your division.
Okay.
If there is another team, say Chicago, the Bears, right, finished just because they're in our division, finished with an 11 win, right, which would have been better than another team.
Yeah.
Well, then I think it would have to go by tiebreaker of who would get in. Would it be Green Bay or Chicago? Right?
Okay.
That would be the tiebreaker. It would never be a tiebreaker between the division winners. They're in. You just don't know where you're seated.
Okay, I got you.
So, I mean, I hear what you're saying. You should be awarded. But I also think, okay, well, this team had 4 more wins than you did.
Yeah.
I can see the argument both ways.
Yeah, I can. I see what you mean.
Well, we'll see what the owners think because they're going to vote on it at the end of the month.
I find it interesting. Were the Lions the main, were they the ones that were kind of leading this charge?
I guess so, yeah. So I know teams can they can request rule changes. This one was just brought to light today. It sounded like they were backed by some other franchises, but I'm sure it comes down to the owners.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see if that goes through and what they do. I would not be surprised if that does get pushed through. That would not surprise me one bit. And it wouldn't surprise me if they add another team, like have 8, like the NHL does, and then maybe you have to two buys.
2 buys?
Yeah. Maybe you do that. One thing I will say with the playoff structure the way it is now, I do not like only one team getting a bye. I think 2 should get a bye. I don't like the fact that only one team now get a bye. But before,
you'd have to add another team.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like for it to, I get it as a 7 because they added a team. They can't have 2 buys,
right?
Because it would just make for obvious reasons. But
you know what? I'd be more for that than adding another week on the schedule.
Yeah,
Let's add another team in the playoffs. Forget week 18. Week 18.
Yeah,
or week 9, whatever. An 18-game season, and add another team into the playoffs.
What they should do is, if they're going to have us do a 17-game schedule, 2 buys, add a team for the playoffs. Like I would be okay with that.
Yeah,
have 2 buys throughout the regular season. Add a playoff team to the mix, so you have 8, and then the top 2 seeds get a bye. Yeah, let's do that. Let's run that. At least you're still getting another week of football. And
all right, we propose that to the owners. So you guys vote on that next week when you guys all meet.
You all should be listening to Mike's on the Mics.
Yeah,
you got everything.
Clearly,
all the answers.
We have all the answers.
Yeah.
The other rule change that the Lions proposed was to, let's see, how do I want to word this? So they want to get rid of the automatic first down on a illegal contact from the defense / defensive holding.
Yeah.
So right now, when either of those 2 penalties happen, it's a 5-yard penalty plus automatic first down to the offense. And I agree. I think it should just be your 5-yard penalty.
Right.
We talked about this before. Example, it could be a 3rd and 12. Defensive holding or illegal contact. All of a sudden, now it's first down, first and 5 for your team.
I think it should literally just be based on let's say if it's a 3rd and 15 and it's a 10-yard penalty, like it's a holding or whatever, and then you advanced 10 yards, it should be 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5.
You know what I mean?
Repeat of down.
Yes.
Just like happens when it's holding on the other side.
Even pass interference too. Like pass interference, if it's within the first down marker, it should not count as a first down unless the play happened past the first down marker.
Now, if it's 3rd and 4 and you hold,
that's a first down.
That's a first down. It's 5 yards. You get your 5 yards.
Advance past the line again.
Yeah, you get your 5 yards and repeated downs.
Yep.
Right, unless it gives you the automatic first. But I don't like that. Just the defense. The defense has nothing to help them. Right. Everything is to protect the offense, make it more of an offensive game, and that's fine. Right. But I think this helps a lot. And the biggest thing from what I was reading, and it makes a lot of sense, is this takes away less of an impact of the game from the referees.
Yeah.
From the officiating side. Yeah. You call that play, like I said, 3rd and 6, right? 3rd and 12. I accidentally put my hands in your face. I get a penalty. You should be called for it. I agree with that, but it should not go as an automatic first down because that could change so much late in the game.
Yeah.
Right. And you see it happen. And it happens to every team. So it's not like any of these rules are going to favor just Detroit. This is going to favor every single team.
It's funny that they're proposing that rule change now, especially with the Chiefs, what they've been getting away with, and Patrick Mahomes and the pass interferences and all those calls and stuff like that.
And this would take a little bit less of that away from the Chiefs.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Because the refs are going to call you. Yeah.
They're trying to even the playing field a little bit, it seems like.
It's late in the game. Yeah. Like I said, even if it's a second and 10.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, defensive holding, first down. What?
Yeah.
Like, I just held the guy. Like, you shouldn't get a first down.
Right.
Like, it's bad enough that a pass interference down the field gets you where it happened.
Right.
Right. I mean, spot of the ball. Right. But so that was the other rule change. And I agree with it. I think that that one should be good. And most of the league agreed with that one as well, too, just from what I was reading in comments and things like that. The third rule change is, and I'm not exactly sure how this works, it's more roster spots, but if a player goes on the IR within 90 days of the final roster, that it shouldn't count against them. And I might be saying this wrong. So it has nothing to do with on the field play or anything like that. But the Lions proposed this obviously due to the team getting throttled with injuries last year.
Yeah.
Because I guess there's a certain mark, and I probably should have read up on this one more, but I was more focused on the other two because it's actually impactful to the game, right? Seeding in the playoffs, actual gameplay. This is more of something that the teams control their rosters with based off IR injuries.
Yeah.
I don't really care what they do with it. I don't know how much it actually impacts. I have to do a little bit more homework on this rule change. Well, it's more a behind the scenes rule change.
It seems like they're trying to help mitigate these these rosters getting decimated with injuries and to help them.
Well, because if you get injured and you take a guy off your roster, can't you can bring a guy on, right?
Right. Yeah. I think I don't.
So it's clearly something that I'm not understanding.
We'll have to review that one a little bit more. I'd be kind of interested to see what they do, what that really means.
So yeah, that was a little out of my knowledge of that one, and like I said, I should have done a little bit more homework on it, but I was really focused on the other ones because that's really going to impact the game. So
yeah,
I think they said March 30th owners start meeting and they'll start voting on this stuff.
Okay, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they pass. I would not be surprised to see some of those penalty ones get enforced, and then as far as the seeding one, I wouldn't be surprised to see that one go through too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if any of these went through, but we'll see. The owners are, they're old school. They don't like to change.
No, they don't. No, they don't like their billions being affected.
What'd you want to say about Aaron Rodgers?
Okay, so the Aaron Rodgers saga, like I for one, I don't really know what's going on. For one, like yesterday I heard he's not coming or he's not signing with the Vikings. Now I hear that the Vikings have not closed the door on him yet.
Okay, because I heard that yesterday that they were done. They're rolling with JJ.
Well, then I saw this morning on YouTube, it was Chris Sims and it was their NBC show that they do online. And they say that the Vikings have not closed the door on that yet. So I don't know what's going on. I just want to know, like, you being a Lions fan, if he comes to the Vikings, how do you feel?
I don't give a shit. Honestly, I don't give a shit. Come. We'll just beat you twice again. I really don't care. I don't think he's a threat like he used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, that is as much as my right off the gate. I don't care.
Okay.
Now I think Minnesota is still not him specifically, but he will have some good targets, obviously with Jefferson and Hawkinson and Addison on the Vikings. But I really don't think he's any more of a threat than Sam Darnold was to us last year. To be honest, that's just me, and and hopefully I don't get proven wrong. Right, but I don't care if he goes to Minnesota. Let him come back. What do you think?
I'm going to disagree because I think if he goes to the Vikings with the team that they've kind of got, and then I like their coach a lot. I think it would be an upgrade over Darnold. I watched Rodgers a little bit last year. He can still throw the ball. He's still smart. I know he's a quack, but like he can still sling it. And if he's healthy and in right mind, like. Because I feel like you're looking at, okay, it's either Aaron Rodgers or JJ McCarthy, and who do I want to see on the other side of the ball as a Lions fan? I want to see JJ McCarthy because I think he's going to struggle.
Yeah,
I think Aaron Rodgers would come in and cause some fits for the Lions.
So my take is not, Aaron, he's a little wacky and stuff like that, but that's not the reason why I say bring him. I just really don't think he's as good as he was anymore.
Oh, he's not. But
I don't think that it's going to be a threat. I mean, you have those weapons. I mean, that obviously helps him.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see him as a threat to our division anymore.
All right, let's say Aaron Rodgers is 85% of what he was back in his MVP days. Like, that's still, in my opinion, don't you think that's still better than Sam Darnold?
Yes, yeah. I would agree with that. But it doesn't make me nervous. I'm not taking the stance of like, oh shit, here we go. Like,
I agree. I don't want to sound like a P. No,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Because bro, I like whooping his ass. I liked when the Lions literally knocked him out of the division. I
guess if it's anything like last year, I don't see it being him coming any more of last year of Detroit and Minnesota going down to the wire. We already had to go down to the wire with Minnesota last. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally to the last game.
Yeah.
If it happens again, it happens again. Mm-hmm. But bring it on.
No, I'm all for that too. I just I feel like the Vikings are like a last place in the division with JJ McCarthy, and then if they have Rodgers, they're probably a threat. So
I think they would be a threat. They would be a threat, but
I think the division is going to be very good next year.
I think so too. I think I honestly, well, I don't know about Chicago yet. To me, they're going to have to prove it. I know they made some big changes in the offseason. But yeah, the Green Bay, Detroit, Minnesota. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a tough division. Yeah. I don't know if Chicago, what they're going to bring. Oh, I need to see it.
Yeah. I can see Chicago being like the pain in the ass next year. Like maybe they win 9 games. They knock off. Maybe they beat Detroit once. They knock off a few division. Maybe they knock off the Pack and Vikings once. Like, I think they're going to be a threat just because of some of the stuff that the moves they made.
I could almost see everybody going 1-1 in the division.
What do you mean? Like
Chicago go 1-1 against Detroit.
Oh, I see what you're.
Green Bay goes 1-1 with Chicago. I can see everybody beating each team one time and losing.
Everybody split. Yeah.
Everybody. I can see that exactly happening.
Could be very close to that. Yeah.
To our teams, everybody goes 1-1 against the other opponent. So 3-3.
Mm-hmm.
I can see everybody going 3-3 in there.
Yeah, like next year, for instance. Like if you go 4-2 in your division, you're gonna win it. You know what I mean? Like that'll probably
you beat any team twice. You beat one team twice, then you're looking good.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. So. All right, that's all. I just wanted to bring that up.
No, it's good. It's good. That's the NFL talk we got.
Yeah.
So let's
it is March. We should get into some March Madness.
It's a little mad.
Yes.
A little March Madness is here. People go crazy for this stuff. So,
you saying that like you had like basically your whole office is out right now?
Oh yeah, it was dead at work today. Everybody's out watching these games.
That's so funny.
We got a couple. Did you do a bracket this year?
I did. Yes.
Okay. I did a bracket as well.
I did one with my son.
I'm sure he's loving it right now.
Oh yeah.
We are going to give our final 4, and we'll see. Obviously in the next couple weeks what happens. And everybody knows we always mention this. We're not huge followers of the college basketball. Me, not really college much. I mean, I know I follow it a little bit, but the knowledge is not there. But we had to bring it up today, so we'll do that. But I did have some, a couple interesting stats about just this year, and then some fun facts about March Madness. So
okay,
that
cool.
People may not know. But the one thing I wanted to bring up,
I like fun.
And I bring this up because of Michigan State, right? So a lot of people have Michigan State going to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily winning it all, but Michigan State's always a favorite to the Final Four.
It seems like every year it's always like death, taxes, and state being in the Final Four. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Every single year it's just like that's all people's mindsets is at.
So with that said, and I heard this yesterday, no top 10 ranked team has ever made the Final Four being unranked at the start of the season.
Right, which state was. Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy that people are saying, and it's obviously March Madness breaks all the traditions and like teams winning that shouldn't win and always upsets and things like that. So I just thought it was really interesting. And then to see that such a high percentage of nationwide people have, I mean, McAfee has state winning it all.
Does he?
Yeah, he was on his show. took a shot at the base. He goes, if I make this basket, State's winning it all. And so, you just hear that stat, and everyone's like, yeah, who cares about that stat, right?
Right.
And then the other one, this is just for Big Ten. A Big Ten team hasn't won it since 2000, which was Michigan State.
Yeah, we've had teams make it a number of times. I know we had Ohio State,
Michigan a couple times.
Michigan's made it twice. I think it's made it once or twice since 2000.
I think Purdue was the most recent team to be in it.
Were they okay?
But all these teams are losing.
Yeah. The Big Ten is. I mean, they've made it, but they have not fared well.
So, I kind of, I root for Michigan State. Then I go, I root for Michigan to do well. And then it's like, okay, go to the Big Ten, bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So hopefully, one of our teams get in, but I got some fun facts if you're interested in hearing some of these. So, and I'll run through these quickly, but, the tournament was established in 1939, the first tourney. Oregon beat Ohio State, so that's good.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was a low-scoring game. I should have wrote down. It was like 30-20-something or 40-30.
Sure that wasn't football?
Yeah, I know, right? And then back in the day, so the NIT, it was also been around for a long time, back in the 30s. The NC2A tournament, March Madness, was considered the lesser of the two events.
So the NIT was...
and back then, the teams could play in both.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That was until 1971. They said, nope, you can only play one. Yeah. And that's when the NC2A March Madness tournament kind of took over.
Okay.
That's when, in the 70s is when the March Madness became the bigger of the two.
Okay. Gotcha.
Let's see. UCLA has the most titles with 11.
Oh, wow. Okay.
John Wooden was one of the best.
I would have never have guessed that. If you would have asked me who, I would have been like, okay, Duke or UNC.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the Coach K has the most wins. That's Duke.
Most wins.
101 tournament wins.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I think the next team underneath there was either UCLA or North Carolina, I think, with like 70 some wins. So he killed it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Kentucky has the most appearances.
Okay.
With 59.
Okay, interesting.
Well, now this is my favorite, and I'm gonna give this number a try because this is so perfect bracket.
Yeah, I think I know what number you're gonna say.
The perfect bracket, right? And now this is if you just went on a flip of a coin or just a guess, right? No knowledge.
Before you say this number, you might want to take a deep breath.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna. And I was like, okay, so I'm gonna try this. You have a 1 in 9 quintillion, 223 quadrillion, 372 trillion, 36 billion, 854 million, 775,808 chance.
Wow.
Of hitting a perfect bracket.
Good job.
I didn't hit quintillion.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, now, if you have a little bit of knowledge, which I think we have a little bit of knowledge, so don't worry, we have a chance, a 1 in 120.1 billion chance of hitting a perfect bracket. So that's never going to happen.
So we have a better chance of landing on Mars, you and I, than...
We have a better chance of hitting the lottery than... But yeah, I saw that number, and I even seen... So that was the most consistent number across my my research. There was one that was even higher. It was like 140 quintillion.
Okay.
But yeah, so no one's going to hit a perfect bracket. Do you remember when Warren Buffett... Or was it Warren? No, Jimmy Buffett. Warren Buffett. Who's the super rich one?
That's a Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett offered $1 million or $1 billion. Anybody that hit
perfect bracket.
Yeah, right. And they say most people are out by the Sweet 16. That nobody really makes it past that.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought those are my fun facts of March Madness.
Good ones, man. Good ones. The couple of those were I would have never have guessed.
I didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah. The one
I didn't know it's been around since the 30s.
Yeah. What is the one out of all of those? What is the one that like surprised you the most?
Probably that the NIT was for so long. I mean, from the 30s to the 70s, that was the pristine, and the fact that you could play in both.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Now the NIT is people are like, what is that?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like the consolation prize if you don't make it in, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what it turned into. The NIT became if you didn't make the tournament, the main tournament, you went to the NIT.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, all right, Final Four time.
You want to? I guess I'll start here. I got.
You want to just run through your Final Four? We'll just give your Final Four.
Yeah, you wanted me to do that?
Yeah.
All right,
I think it would be easier that way. Because I don't know. I didn't write down West, Midwest, or anything.
I don't even know the regions either. I have Duke, Michigan State, Purdue, and St. John's, and there's not a lot of basketball knowledge put into that. I just kind of filled out my bracket. I looked at the spreads.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of how I judge my
okay.
You know what I mean? Like to start, I guess. And I have Duke winning it all.
Okay.
So, how about you?
Who do you have Duke facing?
Michigan State.
Michigan State?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whew. Well, no, I'm sorry. In the national championship game, I have Duke and St. John's.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is funny because that stat I gave earlier, the top 10 ranked team, Michigan State and St. John's are the two teams that are in the tournament that weren't ranked. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay. Wow. All right. Okay.
And I didn't know your Final Four. So you're really going out. Let me hear.
I got to contact Warren.
My Final Four, I got Michigan State, Texas Tech, Duke, and Tennessee. And I am right there with you MSU was there because I'm a state fan and I would pick them in every year's bracket. The other ones, I didn't even know that I had Tennessee going all the way until because it was just the same thing. I was like, oh, I like them in this match. And all of a sudden I'm like, I got Tennessee in the Final Four. And I have Michigan State winning it all against Tennessee.
Okay.
So again, I'm going through, I'm like, how did I end up with these teams? And it was just kind of how it worked its way out.
And it's always like, it's never ever like, just like the Final Four is never ever just all 1 seeds or all 1 and 2 seeds.
It's only happened. I think it's only happened one time where all 4 1 seeds made it to the final.
Yeah, you'll have like obviously you'll have your higher seeds, even like a 12 seed, a 12 and 5 seed. Like actually, Michigan is playing a 12 seed, and like a lot of people are worried about Michigan's matchup tonight.
Yeah,
because a lot of times it happens like a 5 seed will play a 12 seed, which is like a mid-major team, but a really good mid-major team.
Yeah.
And they'll get upset.
I think that the most upsets come from the 12-5.
Yeah. So you'll have a 12 seed get deep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that happens. 4 seeds make it deep. Like it.
And something out of like the last 5 years, a 6 seed has been in the Final Four.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I mean, it's all over the place. I mean,
what makes it really awesome. That's why I get why people love the tournament so much. I get it. I'm not the biggest basketball fan, but when you do sit and watch the games, they are fun.
Last year, Oakland.
That was cool.
Oakland, what, the Sweet 16?
Was this?
I think we were trying to go to the Elite 8. I think that was so much fun.
They knocked off Kentucky.
Yeah.
First round. I think they were a 14 seed to beat Kentucky as a 3 seed. That was awesome.
So
Golke, right? That kid.
Yeah.
He just kept hitting threes from forever.
Yeah. I mean, that was fun. And all these, I mean, there's a Cinderella story every single year.
Every year.
Man, we should have did one of the, we should have just picked one team to see as our Cinderella story. There's teams in here that I never, like Michigan State playing Bryant tomorrow. Yeah. I don't know who the hell Bryant is.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think the State's like a 20-something point favorite.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But what's funny, back to Michigan, Michigan is only a 2.5 point favorite over UC San Diego.
Yeah.
So I would watch out tonight.
I have Michigan winning tonight, but I have them losing on Saturday.
Okay, so you have them going winning one game.
Winning one game.
Yeah, I have Michigan going to this. I have them winning 2 games, losing to Auburn in the Sweet 16.
Okay.
They turned the ball over too much. Like that's gonna catch up.
Yeah.
But yeah, we both have State obviously going in the Final Four. Like,
so we'll see. We'll see. I think we'll be lucky if we each get one of our teams in the Final Four.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Well, you know what? That's funny. We'll have to see which ones make it, and maybe we do a little bit of we'll go back and see how many
we'll definitely do the bring this back up and see what we got. So
yeah,
no, that's fun, and I'll catch a little bit of the tournament. I mean, I'll watch it, but just because it is fun to see all these upsets and everything.
It is for sure.
All right, that's our March Madness for you.
Yep.
Hope you enjoyed my fun facts of the day.
Always,
y'all know what time it is.
Stud and Dud. Yep.
All right. All right. Give me your. What do you want to do? Stud or Dud first?
You know what? I'll start with the stud. I'm actually giving it up to my wife Megan. She
Oh, Megan.
Yeah, she's gonna get a little shout out today. This past week she had to do. I don't want to get into specifics, but she had to speak in front of this board meeting from and she did really good and it went really well and. So hats off to her for doing that. She did it voluntarily, but she stood up. She stood up for something, and so proud of her for doing that. So that was cool.
So Megan, you're a stud
or studette. Like what's
a studette?
Yeah, whatever. I don't know how we do that, but whatever. Give it up to her. So.
Nice. All right. So my stud, and never a big fan of doing this because of our rival, but I'm giving it to U of M for winning the Big Ten championship.
Okay.
Yeah. They deserve
proud of you.
You won a championship. Who am I to deny any credit where credit's due? They knocked off a couple good teams making their way through.
Well, you know what's cool is like with the so State won the Big Ten regular season title, and then Michigan won the Big Ten tourney. Like that's cool.
It is cool.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you're looking at it from just like a local fan, like that's really cool.
It is. It's a good time to be a State of Michigan fan.
Yeah, and you know what would be really cool? But both teams are playing in the same region. They could be facing each other if they both make a run. So that's
U of M stud for winning the championship. Congratulations on that. So. All right, what do you got? Who's the dud?
All right, for my dud, you would think that we're opposite fans today because I'm actually giving it up to my dud is Matt Weiss. He was a former quarterback coach and co-OC at Michigan. He got busted for basically hacking into the computer system or whatever and like spying on female athletes, getting private information. Yeah, like. Dud's probably not even enough.
That's.
But I just found that pretty sick and just really sick and just it's bad look.
Yeah,
so that's my.
He
dud.
definitely does. He is
sick guy.
That's gross.
Yeah. How about you?
Well, my dud is nowhere near that, but I'm actually gonna go with. So I had a couple to pick from, and I'm just going with my original, and I'm going with these just ticket prices. Mm-hmm. And I know everyone complains about it. I think we've done it before, mostly on the football stuff, but this is where the Savannah Bananas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're they're the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball, right?
Did they start off becoming that, or did they just kind of like transition into
so I'm not sure of their whole story, but I think it started off like they're there for entertainment value. And the reason I say they're just like the Harlem Globetrotters is because they play the same team every game. Mm-hmm. The party animals, right? This does seem a little bit more entertaining, right? They dance. They have had 6 players get drafted into the MLB, believe it or not.
Wow.
Anyways,
I wonder if any of them are still playing.
I don't know.
That's kind of cool.
It is cool. But they're exciting. They're fun to watch. So they're coming to Grand Rapids, Michigan. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I think that would be fun to go. Maybe spend a weekend in Grand Rapids. Go see them.
Grand Rapids is fun.
I go to look up tickets because they're doing like a whole country tour. They're going to all kinds of stadiums and stuff. They're just not coming to Detroit. Anyways, look it up. $200 to go see one. It's entertainment. We all get that. You're not a real like league.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same team you're always playing. And as much, I still want, I'm not dogging the actual players and their talents. I'm just dogging whoever their PR is. This has nothing to do with the actual players. But like the fact that you're going to charge me $200, and then it just got me thinking that's what set it off. Because I was like, this is BS.
Yeah.
This could be fun. $200 to go to a baseball game that, Tigers tickets to the playoffs weren't even $200. But even that, I want to go to Red Wings games. Everything is just getting so expensive to go to anything.
Is the shtick more for, like, is it geared towards, like, family? Like, it can be for adults and kids? Is it kids? Is it just adults? Like,
I don't know, man. If you see some of those videos and how they're dancing and the things they do, it's kids can be there, but, I guess I don't really know. I think I would rate it, like, PG-13,
okay,
all right, or PG-16, like if you have slightly mature audience. I don't know.
If you have a family of like 5 or 6, this is like that's gonna be what $1,000 to go to the.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, come on.
So, and they're just kind of what started ticket prices being my duds, and then it just got me thinking of everything else, and just like it's just getting a bit ridiculous.
They're making it really hard to stay engaged.
So Savannah Bananas, I want to come see you. I want to come watch you. You guys look like a lot of fun to be around, and the rules are awesome. Like, not to get too much into it, but like a foul ball, if a fan catches it, the batter's out.
What?
Yeah, they have all kinds of rules, funny rules and stuff. So it would be a lot of fun. I just don't see it being $200.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's baseball. Like, come on. Like, you want to get the kids out and promote it that way.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to make it. Like, that's ridiculous.
So
I mean, and they're minor league players essentially, right? I mean, like
I think they're talented baseball players,
right? They're good, but it's like
they're still trying to make probably their way into the league somehow.
Sure.
But yeah, they do all kind of funny dances and gimmicks and stuff like that, and giveaways, and it's
right.
It looks like a lot of fun to go to. Just lower your prices, whoever your PR rep is. Come on.
Yeah, that when you told me that, I was blown away.
The thing is, people are probably spending it, so I get it, but it's just like, damn,
right. If
can't go see shit without it costing.
They're asking that much. People are paying it.
That's true. That's true. But it's
not fair.
Let's make it so everybody can enjoy it. But
right.
That's my soapbox rant on that. Good episode, man.
Yeah, good one, man.
Oh, look at that. I think it fits. Yeah. I think it fits. So we'll see you all back next week.
Yeah.
Baseball is back.
Yep.
Next week. So we'll have some good stuff for you then. Thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate it.
Have a good weekend. And yes, thank you very much.
Go green, go white.
Go blue.
All right. We love you. Go Detroit. Have a good night.